everyone, I hope you're all having a great Wednesday so far. Mine has been pretty good, just had a busy week. Yesterday I didn't get home until after my stream ends, so that's why I had to miss a day unfortunately, but we're ready to start getting back into it today, so that's alright. Alright, so I guess I'm not sure what'll happen when I run the game. Let's try it out. I know we were working on getting the move action Lua script to finally run. Okay, so let's see. Object reference not set. Okay, so I probably don't create this list. Let's throw that error so we don't ever call this constructor. And this script keeps track of all actions that a mod Lua script, or sorry, this class keeps track of all actions that a mod Lua script tells the game to execute, but the game doesn't actually execute them now because we need to send them to the server and then validate to make sure nobody's cheating and all that. So what actually happens, thank you, just pulling up the Lua script here for later, is it just stores the action here in a list, and then any other class that might affect just pretends that it's actually happened on the game board. So for example, when a move action is created, this monster position might not be exactly what is in the game state, so it needs to look through all the actions of type move, and then if the action's active monster is this monster, then it needs to return that position from that action because the monster would be there now. And I think this enumerator, yeah, it goes backwards because the most recent action is at the end. Yeah, so this is pretty simple. Some other actions might turn out to be a little more complicated, but we'll figure it out as we go. The volume is fine. Just please anyone speak up if it's too quiet or loud. Alright, so here's the Lua script we're trying to get to run, which is really simple. All it does is just execute a move action and then returns true to say that it was successful. And the position that we move to is actually stored here when we look to find all the valid targets. And that's what this memory is. It's stored right here. I don't really need this debug there anymore, so I'll comment that out. But yeah, let's try to run the game again and see how far it gets. I know that it won't actually run the script because, what we can see here, the class that's supposed to call the script isn't complete yet. But I'd like to see how far it will actually get. So now, at least it was able to let me pick something. Okay, so now it gets all the way to create actions and the game just stops there, probably because something's not hooked up. Okay, so let's, what class is that? I think it's the ordering. Not this one. Ordering action creator. So I think what's supposed to happen... Oh yeah, we don't actually even call the Lua script here. So let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, this, we can kind of use this as a base. So selection to actions Lua parameters. Okay. Okay, I spelled it out all the way. So that'll be good enough. And then right here, all I need to do is call the script. I need to set the state first in case the script finishes this frame. So create new parameters, and what do we actually need to pass? Look at the target and the selection. That's pretty easy, I think. It's the player state. Yeah, it's all stored in here already, so that makes this easy. Okay, so now we'll get to this part, and here it's creating the first argument to the Lua script, which is fine. And then we have this on complete, which I think will use this same format. Oh yeah, so I put the result object there by accident. Okay, and then the actual function. Let's see, so it'd be... Oh yeah, so the ability ID is just the selection.ability index. Do I even... I'm not sure if I even load this yet. Oh yeah, we have the get action tree, but we don't use that anymore, so let's go ahead and change it. Okay, so let's say, I don't know, selection to actions query. And then I'm going to need to load this function now. Which apparently we had a lot of it set up already for the get action tree, so I should just go through and rename some of this stuff. And then in the loading phase we have mod load manager. It's probably gonna even throw some exceptions here. Okay. I think the only other place is the asset organizer, because that actually deposits all these functions into the game data, which is right here. Alright, so that was easy. And the only other place is I need to change the actual ability files. Right now, these other dummy abilities just use the same function. It's no problem, really. Okay, so let's make sure it actually loads. Okay, there's a problem here. Oh, I didn't rename that. Sorry for knocking that. I guess we don't need to go any farther. If it actually loaded correctly, that's good enough. Okay, so now it will start this asynchronous script, which... Okay, I didn't send it any options. But I think we want it to be able to call it right there. Okay, you can do start this. Okay, so what this does basically is it creates a new what I call an asynchronous Lua script, which is just a Lua script that can run over multiple frames. And the reason we do that is because the Lua script, as we do here, might need to request something about the monster or a statistic from the server, which can obviously take more than one frame, so that's what this class handles. Turn on the music, it's better for me. Alright, so I think this is all good. So we don't need to look at that class right now. Let me close some of this stuff. At top bar is getting a bit full again. Okay, so here, this is called before the asynchronous script manager starts calling a new, or starts loading the script up again. So here is where we'd want to insert any global functions that the Lua script can call, such as this actions object. So to do that, we call it database script, or okay, no, this is Lua set global, and then we'll have actions, and then the object is just okay, we have the Lua. Why is this called Lua options? It's actually the Lua. Oh wait, no, that is correct. Why did I need that? Okay, maybe that's left over from something else. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that was from another class. I must have accidentally copied it over. And what I actually wanted was this Lua registry, because it has the action collector, which is what we want to expose to Lua scripts to be able to call. And then when it's done calling this function, we'd remove this. Oops. I think it's just remove global. Nope, nope, not read. Right, there we go. And this just makes this object unavailable for Lua scripts to call again. Okay, so am I happy? I think so. The only thing I'm not really sure completely about is if I want... Okay, well this needs to be moonsharp hidden before I go any farther, because Lua should not be able to call this function. Okay, well this is private, so that's not going to be called anyway. But I might want to like move this and this kind of function out of here into some other class, because this action logger might want to be only like functions that Lua can call, just to keep it simple. But that other class will be so small, I think this should be okay for now. But if we see that we have to add a lot more scripts in here, then maybe, or a lot more functions, maybe we should separate it out. Okay, then are we ready to call this? I think I might be. So let's log log action. It's not going to be a very helpful log though, because I don't think I created a toString. So override toString, and we'll want to switch based on the type, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I guess I don't need to break. We just return string format. Okay, let's put a little prefix there just to make things easy. And let's see, move, and then the monster to position. So active monster and target position. Yeah, different actions will use different variables, so that's why I'm pretty sure we'll need to switch between the type. And this will just be return. Yeah, I'll just do that because there's no. It's an empty action basically. I guess it should be default. So that way there'll be a return value for every possibility. So now we can know when Lua calls this function. And then here, so we need to see if this return value is true. I guess we don't have to do that yet, do we? Because we mostly just want to see if the script runs. So let's also do a Lua print here. Print get actions complete. And why don't we print, oops. I know what. Let's print the position of the monster before and after. That way we can know for sure if the position is updating correctly. So arg selection monster dot position. Okay, let's for toString. And then we'll do after. Okay, and this position should update to whatever this value was. So let's hope it does that. And I think I've hooked up everything so that it will actually call that script. Of course it won't get any return values back because that's what we need to do now, but I just want to test it first. So no, it's on create actions and nothing happened. So let's take a look. Do I not? No, I subscribe to the correct message here. Maybe I don't create this script. Oh, that's a problem. I'm surprised it didn't throw an error, but okay, so new selection to actions. Okay, so now this object will be created and it should handle calling the Lua script. Once it finishes compiling. Right, there we go. Okay, so yeah, now we're getting some calls. So yeah, Lua, alright, well here it's saying it's creating a new async script with ID 5 and then calling it with the user data. And then Lua before, so before it's at position 213, and then it moves silver to 313. And now it says after it's at 313. Okay, so that's good. That's exactly what we wanted to happen. It says get actions complete, and then yeah, this is just the async controller letting me know that the script returned. So everything is working great there as far as I can tell. So now we need to handle the return value from here. So first of all, we need to make sure that the script returned it true, which is just to make be sure that the script didn't encounter any problems. So let's see. I'm going to copy something from here because it handles this as well. Where is it? Okay, yeah, right here. So if your return value does not equal null and the return value type is boolean and boolean equals true, so if this is not all true, then it throws this exception from ability get actions. I'm not going to worry too much about this message because, as I've said before, we need to come back and update these play exceptions to not just use raw strings, but we'll do that in the future. Okay, so what I really want to do is I need to fill this result with the actions that the Lua script created, because that's what the only thing we turn back is a list of actions. So let's see. Result actions equals new. Okay, and so now what we need to do is this action logger, we need to be able to read these lists. Okay, maybe I do want to pull this stuff out now. It'd probably be smarter. Okay, so let's make a separate, have the action logger. Maybe this should be renamed action creator. This will just be action lists. Oh, I created this in the wrong namespace. Okay, that's fine, and we don't have to worry about this. Will never be called in Lua, so we'll just move this to here, as well as this. And then this as well. I don't think it needs any arguments to the constructor. Let's see here. So the reason I'm doing this is because this class I want basically to only be functions that Lua can call, just to try and keep things a little less confusing. So I guess it needs a reference to the action list class. Oops. I guess I need to declare the variable here, don't I? We should probably pass it as well. I'll put this as the first argument. Okay, it's probably private, so yeah, this needs to be public. And then the monster. Okay, so let's change this to action logger. And basically, nothing will need to really access this class, I don't think. So why is it complaining? Oh right, I need to actually pass the action list. Action list. And yeah, I should also make this accessible. And then the monster will just yeah, call that instead of the logger. So let me look and see if there's any more errors before I continue. Looks like everything's good. Okay, has to reload. Oh, I bet I know something that just happened. Sometimes if you create an object our script in Visual Studio and move it, Lua tends to like create a duplicate, so it's not. Oh yeah, right here. So I'll delete that before it causes problems. I'm surprised it's not already complaining at me, but. Alright, so now do I want to expose these? I guess that's probably okay. And then right here, so for each Lua action and registry. Oops. Okay, yeah, it's Lua registry value action lists. Since script start. And then when we're done, we can clear this. Maybe I should just get. Oops, I didn't need private modifier there. Yeah, I'll shorten this variable name. So I'll just call this Lua action list. Alright, so game action. Let's just create a new function. Translate action. Lua action. Alright, I need to type data at the front because it's getting confused about if I mean the Lua interface or the game data version of that class. Alright, and then result. Oops. Just add it right here. I think that's it. Okay, so data, game action, just create this new one right here, and then basically whatever type this is, we'll need to do something different. So here the game action, oops, I think I've already set up the move type. So what else does it want? Oh, it's the source player, source monster, and target index. Okay, how about instead of source, I'll name this active. That sounds better to me. Alright, and this target index can be the monster or something else. So that's why it's index and not just target monster. Okay, so active player is Lua action, active monster, owner player, data index. I think that's safe to do. Well, actually, the active player, yeah, it should be whatever is passed in the parameters. So let's, we can just pass this whole class in case it's needed. So parameter, selection, player index. But we can use the data index for this monster. Oops, there should not be a comma. And the reason is because I guess the mod could, for a certain player's turn, it could have the a different player's monster actually deal damage or something, so they shouldn't be the same. And then the target index is the target position as hex position, and then we want board index. Alright, and then I guess we need to make sure that these two values at least are valid, so if game action, active monster. Well, yeah, the active monster could actually be null, couldn't it? So yeah, we need to test that before that. So if active monster equals null, or L action active monster data index is less than 0, or active monster data index is greater than or equal to battle monsters count. So here we just throw a new play exception. Invalid monster passed to move action. And then something similar for the target index. So if target position is null, so invalid target position, and then we also need to make sure that this index is, I guess I can do it this way. If target position is null, or L action target position is in board is false. Okay, I think that's good. I wonder, the action logger, I guess if monster is null or board position is null, then I could go ahead and throw some errors. I did do this, so let's see. If position equals null, or oh wait, I did this backwards. If position does not equal null, but I think I want to actually do this a different way. So this is nice because it will raise an exception right while Lua is running, so it would like tell mod authors where exactly the what line the error happened. Up here it actually just runs once everything is complete, so it's not quite as helpful to them for debugging. So I want to try and do as much error checking in the Lua interface as I can. If monster equals null, I'll just copy this. Okay, I think that's fine. Alright, so if this isn't a move type, that's the only thing we support now. So yeah, if it's not a move type, then we'll just leave the game action with its default values. Well, I guess actually we should throw an error, shouldn't we? Okay, so default, throw, excuse me. So invalid action type. That's good enough. Okay, so I think this is all fine now. Maybe I should debug, log the game action just to see what pops out. Okay, and I think we're ready to test the game real quick. Something wrong already. The interface action list. Oh, did I forget to create the list again? Of course. Alright. Okay, yeah, so we have an action, move monster 1 to position 20. And I'm just gonna assume that's correct for now. It'll be obvious when the monster actually will move, but... Okay, so now the reason the game freezes right here is because the where is it? Action creator doesn't listen to when its script returns, so that's what we need to do now. Which, in order to do that, it's very simple. We just need to subscribe to this message. And here I have this function down here, but I don't think it has the right type. Okay, so right. So now we're in the get actions phase, and we can set the player state of the current index to complete. And then do we want to go ahead and do it? We probably should wait one frame, shouldn't we? Yeah, there's ways that we could speed this up so that it doesn't like have so many empty frames where it basically just increments the action index and everything, but this way is less buggy. And so once we got the game running completely, we can come back and try to optimize things, but it's not a huge deal right now. So what I really need to do, actually should get the player state object, because I'm going to need to access a few variables inside. So state, of course, is complete, and then actions we can set to the result. That's it, I think. Basically just store whatever we return, and then since this is complete, yeah, this comes back through. I guess I should make like this result should really pass the player index. So I can make sure that everything matches up. index is parameter, selection, player index. I guess I could just return the selection itself, because that would give all information about this. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, so we only care about this if the result selection.playerIndex equals player states action index selection player index. So that means that basically we're expecting a return and the return is the player that we're waiting for. So let's see what happens now. It should get to here, and then it'll increment and call the next Lua script, and then here it should, let's put a line. It should debug log all actions calculated. And this will be called once, obviously, all the actions have been calculated. So hopefully that'll show up here. Should probably clean up my debug console. I've got a ton of stuff floating around in there. Okay, yeah, so now it's going to continually say all actions calculated. But we're glad it got there. So let's look here. So move silver, and now it's going to move gold, and let's make sure the position updated, and it did. Perfect. Oops, I didn't mean to press play again. Okay, so what do we actually do here? I guess for every player we need to insert the actions into this okay, I don't actually have it yet. But there's some list that I would insert all of the actions into. Let's see. Should be the request server list. Oh wait, no, it's the ordering finalizer. Okay, that's not correct. I guess this is leftover because I hadn't updated it yet. But we don't actually send turn selections. Okay, well that shows me it's not ready. So I get to create the class myself, or the message myself. So it should be private. Let's see, does this? Because this receive the list from the server. Well, I guess it just creates a message. And then there should be the error checker, which decompiles it. Okay, yeah, so I just had changed all this, awaiting an update. Right, yeah, so I'm just making sure that I'm not missing something. So this should be an action list. Okay. I guess I could just call it actions. Or how about all actions? Controller. Yeah, we'll claim the variable. Let's call it ordered actions. Actually, yeah, this will be the same thing that like the execution or the action executor handles, but let's see what calls that. Okay, so it doesn't do anything yet either. So yeah, I guess I just gutted all that code, which is fine. I don't want to change signature, I want to create this enumeration. Okay, well, I guess I can just have to go do it manually. Okay, something's wrong here. Implicitly. Oh, did I? Yeah, there should be, excuse me, a claim up here. That was the problem. Get a drink of water. Alright, that's better. Okay, so when we start all this, we should really clear out this list. So first, if all actions value is null, we need to create a list in there. And then we can just clear. Oh right, it's not just a list, it's an enclosing object. Alright, so here we basically just need to loop through every player and add its actions in order into the list. But I think I'll create another function to do that. So build action list. Equals all actions dot value, and then we just need to loop through the player states. 0. Why did I do that? Oh, because I forgot the int. Less than player states count. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty easy. Add range. Player states I dot actions. And this add range just adds every item in the list in the order that they appear in the list, so it's perfect for us. And it adds it at the end of this list. So, and the player states are in order, I think, in the sorted order. Yeah, because we create them from the player order variable here. Alright, so I think that's it. And then I need to call the onComplete, which is right here. I guess I should probably set the state to idle here. Okay, so does anything subscribe to this? No. Okay, so I need to go back to the ordering subphase and have it handle this message. I'll just copy it, so have it handy. Okay, so on actions generated, yeah, generate method, and I'll pull this down to a better spot to where it will be called chronologically right here. And yeah, we can use this code. But now if the phase is create actions, we move on to, no, we send it. Send to server, that's right. So does anything respond to that? Oh, right here, yeah, on ready check. Okay, so that's fine. So now it should finish that, but then we'll get a not implemented exception because we don't handle sending anything to the server yet. Object reference, okay, that's not what we wanted. Okay, well I just created it there. Is this actions variable not created automatically? Okay. Action list, let's just make a constructor here. Try again. Okay, so now it gets all the way through to the not implemented exception on the ordering finalizer, so that's fine. Okay, so let's see. Let's look back on our to-do list. We have this. Okay, so this is like kind of, we need to get to this eventually, but it's not like on our main path to finally getting the monsters to move. So I think yeah, I'll hold off on all of those for a while. So what do we need to do? Send actions to server, request other clients, action lists, then receive other clients. I guess it should be, I think that's correct. I always get confused with the plural possessive. Action lists, and what do we need to do? Yeah, anti-cheat, which basically we want to make sure that all players agree, like their action lists match ours. And then I think we need to move on to yeah, executing actions, which shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, and then I think we'll take a small like detour, work on these things, and then after that we'll need to update end of turn effects, which will be another sort of big project because we'll need to figure out how mods can register them. And these are all like, I think for example on Pokemon, I don't know, if someone's poisoned, then you need a special effect to run after the end of the turn to damage, to deal the poison damage. Another example would be if somebody's standing on fire, then they need to take damage. So it's kind of like, I don't know, just extra actions that happen for whatever reason. I'm gonna need to update all those all that code. Alright, so yeah, what time is it? Okay, we still have about 30 minutes, so I bet we can finish most of this actually. Okay, so we really just need a way to convert this action list into an action list message. Before I had this toMessage class, but I don't really want to do that anymore. Oh no, I don't want the Lua interface. Okay, yeah, we don't need this anymore, so I'll just go ahead and delete it because we're well past it. Okay, so basically all this does is just create a network game action, and then I actually had a toMessage item. Which you can see it was pretty simple. I think I actually had a class. Where's the choice finalizer? Okay, so it actually just creates the message here. I thought I had somewhere that I had already set up to translate actions. I'm pretty sure I did make that. I guess an easy way to see is where is the, or what classes use the action message. So let's look at that. Okay, I don't need that anymore either. Okay, so I guess I didn't create it yet. Huh. Strange. I was pretty confident I did. Oh well. I guess I can do it now. Application results. Let's see. Yeah, the network game action. Yeah, network action converters. Okay, I knew I had it somewhere. But I don't think anything actually uses this yet. So it converts a network game action to a game action, which is fine. Yeah, nothing does use it yet. Okay, well, I guess I can leave this here, but really we want to convert a whole list. So action list message to oh yeah, it returns that, and we'll give it an action list. Okay, let's rename this action network to game, and this will be list network to game. I don't know if we'll ever need this query, so I'll just comment it out for now. But we can still use this function, of course. So the game list. Okay, so first we can just create the new object. I'll put in at the beginning for net list or network list. I don't think, yeah, this doesn't create anything in its constructor because it's a array, so we need to actually give it the length. And that's because you can't send variable lists over the network, you have to send only arrays. This is one of Unity's rules. That's usually fine, especially with my system because I convert back and forth anyway. Yeah, that's better. And then for, okay, let's not do for each. For int I equals 0, I less than items length. We can just call items I equals action network to game, and then we'll pass whatever's in the games list. Okay, this should, yeah, it's pretty easy to convert. We don't really care about the type because that's already taken care of. Okay, so now we can put this back to the ordering finalizer. Query handle. I'll just call it to net message, if I can type it correctly. Equals controller use query, and then I'll copy this so I don't have to type it over again. So really all I have to do is return to net message send. Oh, I don't actually have the value or the list yet, so okay, so oh yeah, this is the part where I was using the wrong type, so I just need to change this to an action list again. And what did I call this? I think ordered actions. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so before I play, let's look and see if the server is prepared for all this. So we accept the orderings, and it should be what do I tell it what type I want? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, an action list message, that's correct. Oh right, and we don't actually have to deal with the message here. Yeah, this message acceptor base takes it, and so on check submit. Yeah, we make sure we're in the right phase. Make sure it's a connection we trust. And then we read the message, and if it's valid, yeah, we register it. Okay. Oh right, I know. I remember how this works now. And then right, once everything has been collected, this function's called, and that's when we store it into the chosen sortings. Yeah, which is an all received actions message. And I'll print that out. I guess we can keep it. And then the server updates. Alright. Okay, so let's just play and see what happens. Do I have a problem? Oh no. Okay, so now we got all the way down to the execution phase, except we did have an error, but it still went on anyway. I guess because we don't handle that yet. But yeah, so it did the move. Okay, we sent a server and sent a ready check, and then the server switched to the check phase and sent back that it was ready. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Then the ordering subphase switched to request server ordering, which happened right here. Then the server sent it back to us. Now we were going to do an error check, but yeah, this is not implemented. But that's kind of funny, the game just went on anyway. Oh, because it's on check complete is called next frame no matter what. Yeah, so we want to change that for sure. Okay, so it looks like I don't have to change anything about the request or receive the message back from the server. Yeah, because we got all the received orderings right here. Yeah, that's all we need to do, I think. So what I want to do here is I'll wait to call check for error until the next update, and then we'll, what we forgot to do, or what I forgot to do, was do a try catch to watch for errors. And this would throw play exception. Do I even... I don't even have this yet, which is kind of strange. I think I can just use the play exception. I don't have to tag it. Why is it not like that? Can not implicitly type or... Oh, I know why, because when I first wrote this, I didn't even have this exception class, so yeah, it's been a while since we've needed to update this. So then we just send the exception off, and then it would send this exception to the server and shut down the game, or let other players know that we've had a problem. I think, now that I think about it, I'm not sure if I updated that yet, but I guess when we update the exceptions, which is on my to-do list, we can check into that. Yeah, I definitely haven't. Oh no, okay, yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah, we receive an exception. Okay, then we print it out and send it to the server. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, I was just making sure. I couldn't remember if I had updated that script or not. Okay, and now we don't need to have this not implemented exception. Alright, so we'll also have our ordered actions, which I deleted right there, which is what we generated just a second ago. But actually, no, we can't rely on this, because if we crashed and are reloading, we need to use our ordering that the server sends back to us. Okay, yeah, so how do I do that? I guess we should have another claim. Let's name this to generated ordered actions, but we won't actually use that. Yeah, final ordered actions, and these will be the ones that the game will execute in the next phase. I can just rename these actions, I think. Okay, so if actions is null, then we'll create a new value right here. And be sure to clear it. Why does it keep doing that to me? Oh, because it's not just a list. I did that earlier. Okay, so I guess the main thing, it doesn't really matter which actions we insert into here. We just need to use let's see. Yeah, these are basically all the action list messages sent from all different players. And we really just need to make sure that they're all equal. We don't really care which one we sent, because obviously if they're all equal, then the one we sent is the same. I guess also, well, I was gonna say we need to make sure that every player has sent some actions, but that's not true either. If no player sent any actions, I guess that's a possibility, and some players could have decided to do nothing on their turn or timed out. So let's see. And I guess even still, there wouldn't be null values there, they'd just be empty arrays. So yeah, whatever, that's fine. How do I want to do this to make sure they're all equal? I guess first we can see if all the lists are the same. Are the same length, I mean. Let's close some of that stuff to clean it up. Okay, so first, let's see. The objective, make sure all messages sent to the server are equal. So first let's test array lengths, and then we'll test each action. I guess it's not really that difficult. I was just trying to think of the best way to do it. So I think we'll just pick the first action in the list, or the first message in the list, and use that kind of as our base. So all action. No, we don't want that. Action list message. So this will be list. I'll just call it first. Okay, I really should pull this out so I don't have to keep on referencing the variable. Equals, so all equals message value. Action 0. And then I need to make sure, I have to have a special case that if the actions are empty, so then it's okay by default. So I guess I can pull this out up here. Oops, I wanted to leave a space there. So if all actions length does not equal all clients length, I should also see if they're null. Actions equals null, or all clients equals null. I can even make sure that the value itself isn't null. I guess that could happen. So if any of these happen, then something was wrong with the message itself. throw new play, exception, actions, ordering, message, corrupted. And then if the length is 0, then this turn just had no action, so we can just return. So if there's at least one action, then we need to do some work. Okay, so for int I equals 1. And we don't need to check the first action, obviously, because whatever length it has is what we're going to use as the base. Actions I length. Come on, work with me here. Okay, let's go ahead and pull it out actually from the array. Action list message. What do I want to call it? I guess other. Okay, so the first items length does not equal other items length. Okay, we don't really need to have a separate exception for each. Yeah, let's pull this out into a different function, I think. So let's compare messages. Okay, I'll just call this A and B. Oh, I guess I should use the rename. And this, okay, it doesn't need to be static. And we'll return true if everything is okay. So if compare messages is false, then we'd want to throw an exception. Actions, so let's call it action orderings do not match. Again, we might want to be more descriptive later, but that's okay for now. So if the links aren't the same, then they don't match by default. Otherwise we need to loop through, so int, let's do A. Oh no, I can't do that because I already used A. So I is fine. Less than A, items length. Okay, so now we just need to check to make sure that the actions themselves, themselves match up. Network, game action, and network, game action. Okay, and I guess we should make sure they're not null, even though I'm not sure if that's even possible. False. So if A action type does not equal B action type, or A action player, if the players are not equal, or the monsters are not equal, or what's the last one? Select, isn't it that target? Yeah, target index. Okay, so if any of this is not true, then we can return false. And then at the end, once it gets through the entire loop, we can return true. I guess I can combine this into one if statement, can't I? Since it's all just ors anyway. Okay, so yeah, that's not too complicated. Basically, we just need to make sure that everything is equal, and if anything is not equal, then we return false. And once it gets down to the end, so now all we have to do is create this final ordered actions. So we need to convert the network actions back into game actions. Which we might as well pull out into that other object. Oh, I forget what I called it now. Yeah, network actions converter. So it basically just needs to be the opposite. So action list is the return value. So game to network. I actually had this backwards, didn't I? Because yeah, this should be. Oh yeah. Yeah, but this is transforming the game objects to the network objects, so I guess it's not that big of a deal, but just for clarity. Network to game. Okay, I'll come back and do this momentarily. So we'll need the query handle, and it returns action list from a network. Oh no, not network. Action list message, and this will be net to game converter. Okay, and to get that, we just use our use query method here. I don't know why it tabbed that for me. It's kind of weird. Don't need that method call right there. Okay, so this is pretty simple. So I guess I actually shouldn't set that right there because we'll just use the return value from this converter. So what is it? Actions value equals send, and then we'll send the first because if it's gotten this far, we know that they're all equal, so it doesn't really matter which one we use. Okay, and I think that's it. Alright, so it's good this is the end because when we call this, it's actually going to throw this not implemented exception, but we can test all the rest of this code. So I think I will. Oh, let's see. I was just saying not implemented. But we didn't get any play exceptions, so I think everything worked correctly. Although I guess that's kind of obvious because actually there's only one list that's being sent, so this for loop wouldn't even be called. Yeah, so we're getting to the point where we need to pull up a second client to actually test some of this netcode. But I'll wait until we've got everything, until we've got those little monsters moving around finally. Alright, well, let's see. Oh, right, it is time to go. Okay. Well, good, we got a lot done. So let's see, what can I mark off the list? Yeah, I guess we completed all this, pretty much. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be able to do executing actions. Well, I guess I should remember, right. Oh, wrong. Net message to game action converter, which that shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, and then executing actions I don't think will be very difficult at all. And then we'll take a little detour into some of these other things before we jump right into turn effects. I think most of these will be pretty quick, except for maybe this where we ask the server for stats, because we don't really have any infrastructure for it, so it might take a while, but we might wait on this A star. Like pathfinding, it's going to be useful, but we don't really need it right now, so. Alright, but anyway, thanks everybody for watching, I really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow at around 8:30 Eastern, so feel free to follow to be notified for that. And I've got a new Discord channel. If that interests you, you can type !Discord in chat, or look in my channel description. Oh, hi Alfie Gamer. Yeah, I'm just about to leave, but thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, and if you missed some of the stream and you want to catch up, I do have a YouTube channel. You can find it same way as my Discord. And I'll upload this in the morning, as well as all my past streams. But I think that's about it. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming and watching, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. And yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow. Alright, thanks everyone. Bye bye.